Obesity is a worldwide, rapidly increasing epidemic, and lifestyle could be the way forward to tackle it. However, we don't have exact ways of advising about lifestyle changes that is necessary. Therefore, Dr. Ahmed Abulanin will show you how to use a lifestyle auto designer so that we could achieve that goal in a reasonable way. The Lifestyle Auto Designer is a computer program based on two components, the calculators as well as the used interventions. So let us explain the calculators. We have here a calculator which can calculate the energy expenditure based on either age or age and weight or age and weight and height to get greater accuracy. And the sporty activity could be calculated based on a sporty scale of 5 grades, namely strolling, walking, jogging, running, and racing, which is graded from 1 to 5. But please remember that it is not the name of the game, it's actually the amount of effort done during such activity. For example, if an individual is playing football, sometime he will be walking, sometime he'll be stopping or jogging or even racing to score a goal. Therefore, the overall average for his match might be like jogging, while a football keeper could be like strolling only. The next part of the calculators is the balance, which summarizes all the interventions in terms of calorie expenditure, whether it is negative or positive, with a resultant weight gain or weight loss depending on the overall calorie consumption. Now let us go through the body size and interventions. Here we have an example of a 10-year-old person whose height is 130 centimeters. And now let us assume his body weight is 44 kilograms. Once you hit that, the calculators would recognize that this child is overweight and he has 12.1 kilograms of overweight, and the program recommends the highest possible reasonable weight for this child, not the ideal weight. And therefore, we will have to take some actions or interventions in the used terminology so that he could achieve his goal. The first is the usual actions or the everyday activities. By default, I have supposed that the person would have 10 hours of resting, like sitting, doing not a lot of activity, or active within home or within office, or maybe within a school, or in between these different places, or sleeping hours of about 10 hours. Now, if we modify the lifestyle and encourage this person to do more activity hours, instead of 4 hours, it could be raised to 6 hours, and let us see what is the effect. If he has done that over 365 days, he may lose the extra weight over 58.9 months. Now, if we assume that he could also modify his lifestyle, instead of sleeping 10 hours a day, he could sleep 8 hours a day, knowing that sleeping less will consume more energy, except if he wakes up eating and drinking calorie food. Therefore, he would be losing 4 kilograms over a year, and that would help to reduce the overweight of 12.1 kilograms over 35.4 months. So that's how we could think of the usual activity. Let us return back again to the default of 4 and 10 hours and study the effect of sporty activity. Now, we would negotiate with this individual what sort of activity he could do. Say, for example, he's going to do playing football for 1.5 hours, and he will do this 2 times a week, 2/7, and see what this will do. Now, if he continues to do this activity for 365 days, he could lose 5.2 kilograms over 28 months. He could lose this extra weight over 28 months. Then if he could do more activity, like for example walking for 1 hour 5 days a week, 5/7, and let us see how this would reflect. So like this, he would lose minus 9.9 kilograms over a year, or he could lose the 12.1 kilograms of overweight over 14.7 months. So now let us return back to the default and study the effect of eating and dieting. In this case, there are 2 ways of doing it. It is possible to calculate how much calorie the child or the person is consuming daily, and then recommend less calorie intake. And the other way is simpler way, that we could take away from his snacking every day. Snacks such as juice, Coke, crisp, and chocolates and sweets could do a lot of favor without changing his daily dietary intake significantly. So let us, for example, think of this person is consuming 200 ml of juice every day, and that juice contains carbohydrate at the grade of 15 grams per 100 ml. So a carton of 200 will contain about 30 grams of sugars times 4 calories per gram of sugar. That will give us about 120 calories. And if he's drinking this 7 times a week, then you could say, okay, reduce it to twice a week only, so 5/7 days, and see what is the effect. In that case, just by avoiding this carton of juice 5 days a week for a whole year, he would lose about 5.2 kilograms, and he might get rid of the 12.1 kilograms of overweight over slightly over 27 months. Now let us assume he is also eating bags of crisp, and he's eating one of those every day. So if he can get rid of this 5 days a week again, then we could say this would have an effect of losing 10.9 kilograms over 360 days. And therefore, he might lose the extra 12 kilograms over 13.3 months. Now we have seen that dieting and paying more attention to snacking and reducing snacking to a minimum might actually help a lot. Let us just add some more sustainable activities, like usual activities of being more active, helping in the kitchen, tidying up his room, walking between places rather than asking people to help them. So that would increase his daily activity hours to 6 instead of 4. And like this, he might lose 13.3 kilograms over a year and reduce his weight to desired weight in under 11 months. And let us add another sporty activity here, like he wanted to play football, which is grade 3 for 1.5 hours, and this would be done 2 days a week for his football training, and like this he could lose 18.5 kilograms for over a year, or lose his extra weight of 12.1 kilograms in 7.9 months. And if he adds also the walking activity he would like to do for 1 hour, 5 days a week, then you could see here that like this he might lose 23 kilograms over 365 days, or he could actually lose the extra 12.1 kilograms in just over 6 months, which might be an achievable and reasonable goal. Therefore, I hope that this have shown you in a simple, straightforward way how lifestyle can auto-design, and it might help people to understand the contribution of different components of interventions, including the day-to-day activities, sport and dieting, in a clearer way. I hope this helps you to understand the issues, and there are only few caveats. One of them is that most people don't usually adhere to the planned designs, and therefore we have to follow them up closely to make sure that they are on the goal, achieving their targets, and keep modifying our advice and encouraging and motivating at regular intervals. I hope you find this useful, and please don't hesitate to contact me if you need further explanations and details on this system. Thank you.